Hello and welcome to this video. Today I want to share very quick some realizations that I had. I realized and I learned again for me that your improvement takes time. And I realized that you don't have to be perfect in order to be enough. You might know this, that you have thoughts or negative thoughts and doubts that you have over and over again for years. And sometimes you start to think about those thoughts and of those doubts. And then it hits you like you have a little realization and you realize that everything you just told yourself is bullshit. Maybe you tell yourself that you're not enough to start a YouTube channel. You might tell yourself that you're not enough to start a business. Or you also might sometimes fear that you or your pictures are not good enough the moment before you post a picture on Instagram, for example. So because it was the realization that I had, I for myself believed for the longest time that I'm not good enough to start a YouTube channel. I'm not good enough to share the learnings that I have. And I also believed that in order to share my learnings and in order to start a YouTube channel, for example, I have to be perfect. And that's why I realized that I observe that my ego tells me that I have to come across as this perfect person, this super productive person in particular, that I have to only show my strength and only show how productive I am, and that I'm the guy who goes to the gym 6 days a week and who learns 2 languages, etc., and share lots of this stuff, lots of upsides, but never shares the downsides in order to just come across as super productive. Yes, and first of all, I want to admit that I sometimes don't want to work and sometimes feel lazy. For example, right now it's Sunday. I almost didn't wanted to shoot this video anymore. I said, okay, maybe I can do this next weekend. And so I have these thoughts of laziness, if you want. And I had the realization because I'm currently reading books on productivity to become even more productive, or to become productive in the first place maybe. And I saw, I was doing some things already, and but there were also many things that I wasn't doing already. There are also several more books on productivity that I haven't even read, that I ordered them. They are on my bookshelf, but I haven't read them. And this means there are probably many things that or many productivity hacks or things that could improve my productivity that I don't even know that they exist. And this also means that I'm not doing many things that would make me more productive because I'm simply not aware of them. I don't know them. And this also means I'm not the productive person that I want to come across and that I want to be perceived at. And then I had the realization, I don't want to define this channel as a self-improvement channel, but I'm definitely documenting my journey, and I'm at least trying to improve myself. So I could say I'm documenting my self-improvement journey. Yes, and the realization I had is that people who are watching a person who's onto self-improvement journey do not want to see a perfect person, but what they want to see is somebody who's actually improving. Somebody who's in 1 year from now is a completely different person because he improved so much. So this means I don't have to worry so much about being perfect. It's because people probably, I just can assume, but probably do not want to see that anyway. And this took a lot of pressure off of me, so I don't have to pressure myself to be perceived as so perfect or wanting to come across as perfect. So that's the thought I had for the longest time, or the belief is that I have to be perfect in order to be enough. But the truth is I don't have to be perfect to be enough. The person I am today is enough to post a YouTube video. And the person I am today is also enough to share the learnings that he had. If I'm on the journey of improving myself, and maybe you are also on the journey of improving yourself, then it doesn't matter how productive you are today. What matters is that you become a little bit more productive every day. And not the speed level is important, but the acceleration level is important. You probably know what I mean. So this was probably wrong English, but you know what I mean. This means as long as I'm implementing, or as long as I'm improving a little bit in my productivity, in becoming a better entrepreneur, even though I wouldn't consider myself an entrepreneur yet, a bit healthier, a better bodybuilder, and I also wouldn't consider myself a bodybuilder, but a bit stronger in the gym, then this is what makes me enough. And I want to quote very quick the author of the book Atomic Habits from James Clear. He said, you should be far more concerned with your current trajectory than with your current results. And you might also know this, like there are many things that you already know, but sometimes you have to relearn them or they make like click in your mind again. For example, for me it was, it is called self-improvement and not like flawlessness. And also, like, if you would be flawless, this by definition would make improvement impossible. And also, if we like logically think about it, like there's not a single perfect human on the planet, and I already came across as not perfect in my videos. My camera presence is not perfect, my editing is not perfect, my English is not perfect, and how I speak in front of camera, I'm not like perfectly confident. I don't have unlimited time because this YouTube thing is also like more of a side project. So I'm already not perfect. I also realized that fast improvement isn't possible. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Because this is also a matter of how you define fast and fast improvement. What I mean is that if you are like a super lazy person who's just sitting on the couch, who's watching Netflix and watching Netflix and eating pizza, no matter how hard you work, it is super unlikely that you become that person overnight who is able to work like for 10 hours with focus on his business, who just eats clean, who has no bad habits, who wakes up early. It is super unlikely, and I would say it's almost impossible. As a human being, it's not possible to switch from 0 to 100 in like from one moment to the other. And when I realized that, it was like such a huge relief for me, because I always believed that I have to switch from 0 to 100 like from one moment to the other. In that moment, I accepted that improvement takes time and that improvement is slow. And that acceptance took a lot of pressure off of me. Because I always thought that I had to like wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning, have a cold shower, eat clean, work for 12 hours, go to the gym, learn something, read something, and then go to bed and only sleep 5 hours and then repeat this. If I wasn't able to do that, I hated myself and my day was ruined. Like the self-punishment was so bad that like I had many days where I just couldn't get out of bed anymore. Not because I was tired, because it's kind of weird to explain or kind of hard to explain, but you just cannot stand up. Like there's like zero motivation to go up, to stand up. So yes, this was my realization. I have like a little summary for you. I wrote it down and I want to read it out for you as, yes, a little summary, and I hope this is useful for you. If I would concentrate my energy less on trying to be perceived as flawless and more on improving my flaws, this would be not only much more beneficial to my journey that I'm trying to document here on this channel, but it would also make this documentation much closer to the truth. You do not have to be perfect to be enough. And even if we would be aware of the perfect way to act, nobody's perfect and nobody's aware of the perfect way to act all the time. And even if we would be aware of the perfect way to act, does not mean that we are immediately able to act that way. It takes time, and that's okay. I hope these realizations were useful for you. I quickly wanted to share them. And yes, right now, let's stop talking and let's start building our dream lives.